Hi, it's snack time. What are you guys eating? Okay, so I'm Melissa Dela Cruz, and I'm the author of many books for kids and adults and little kids. And today I'm here to talk about my new book, Never After. So Never After is my take on fairy tales, and I thought it would be really fun to tell the story of a girl who is obsessed with a series of books. I know there are some of you out there who are maybe obsessed with some fantasy series, and you're just so excited to get the next book. And so Filomena is a fan of the Never After books, and she goes to the bookstore, and she's about to buy the last and final book of the series. And everything is going to be revealed, and all the answers will be given to her, and it's going to be this great, satisfying conclusion, and everybody's so excited for the last book. And she goes to the bookstore, and it's not there. And the bookstore owner says that the last and final book is not going to be published. And not only that, but the author has disappeared. And we don't know when the story will be told and will be ended. So Filomena goes back out of the bookstore and is kind of tromping down. And then she finds this guy who finds her, and he's dressed like a hero of the books. And of course his name is Jack Stalker, and he's with Alistair. And they take her off into an adventure because Never After is actually a real place. And she plays a big part in it. And she's actually living the 13th book instead of reading about it. So the book was inspired by, my childhood as a bookish, nerdy kid who loved reading books. I was always the kid who was reading in the corner instead of socializing, because people were very, very scary. But books were lovely, and all my best friends were in books, and I was so excited to read books. And so I wanted to write about a kid who was like me and who loved books. And kind of found her friends in the books, and I just wanted to celebrate that kind of reader. And I set it in the fictional town of North Pasadena. So there's a South Pasadena and there's a Pasadena, but there is no North Pasadena. Just wanted to make that clear. I know that there's no North Pasadena. It's fictional. And it's where my parents moved after college. And I was just always kind of in love with Pasadena. I thought it was like this really sleepy, perfect, suburban California town, where nothing ever happens. And that's kind of what's nice about it. It's like so safe and beautiful and orderly. And that's why my parents live there. But, I wanted to set it in that kind of location because in Never After, which is dark and grim and full of forests and monsters and ogres, what was the most different kind of landscape that she could find herself in. And Filomena is not based on my daughter. My daughter is now 15, but when I was writing it, she was in 6th grade, like Filomena. But she is not Filomena. Like I said, Filomena is a lot more like me, and I kind of show up as the mom. So the mom in the Never After books is a writer. Both Filomena's parents are writers, are very overprotective, which is a little bit like me and my husband. So it's a little inside joke about that. What it's like having two writers as parents. Horrible. Actually, not horrible. It's actually kind of nice. And so she goes off on this big adventure, discovers, that she's part of Never After, and I'm probably spoiling it a little bit, but it's really fun. It's really funny. There's a lot of hamburgers and cheeseburgers in it. There's a lot of snacks, because I know that a lot of kids like snacks, and I do too, and so does Filomena. And it is based on the real story of Sleeping Beauty. So I did some research and I discovered that Sleeping Beauty, the story, the fairy tale, originally written by the Brothers Grimm, does not end with, true love's kiss and the princess waking up and all this happily ever after. There's actually a very sad and dark and scary part 2 where Sleeping Beauty's mother-in-law turns out to be an ogre. So there's a little bit about that, and there's a little bit about Aladdin, and a little bit of Jack and the Beanstalk, and around all this is really spunky and sweet and smart and nerdy kid named Filomena. So I hope you guys try to pick up the book, and I hope you enjoy it and enjoy your snacks.